had an old dog and his name was Blue. Bet you $5 is a good dog too. Go on, Blue. Where's that dog? You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You try it now. You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You. Well, my old Blue ate my shoe. Died of indigestion too. Go on, Blue. Running up in them woods. Hear him howl. You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You. Let me hear you now. You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You. Well, I dug his great big silver spade. Every lick I call his name. Go on, Blue. Go on, boy. You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You. Let me hear you now. You good dog. Mm-hmm. You good dog. You good dog. You. Well, when I get ahead and tell you what I'll do, I'm gonna holler for a good old Blue. Go on, Blue. You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You. Call it dog now. You good dog. You good dog. Yeah. Well, I had no dog. His name was Blue. Bet you $5 is a good dog too. Go on, Blue. Goodbye, old Blue. Over that ridge. You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. You hear now? You good dog. You good dog. You good dog. One more time now, sing. You good dog.
Oh, if I had my life to live, I'd surely live it over. I'd only walk in breath.
I am a pilgrim and a stranger traveling through this worrisome land, and I've got a home in that yonder city, good Lord, and it's not made by man. Well, I've got a mother. Good evening, Jordan.
Good evening, Corey. We're back for a very spooky Hymancast.
Yes, it is the Night Owl Power Hour, and we are taking it to the full effect.
Yeah, we needed to add some ambiance, so here we are. We did have candles, but we just
Still
turned
got
some
candles. Sarah Kate just stole it.
It's fine. It didn't do a lot of work anyway. Too dark.
Yeah, a little too dark. Well, welcome to the third live stream of the day for Kentucky Gives Day. My name is Corey Terry.
And I'm Jordan Collins.
And we're happy to have you tuning in tonight for this late night power hour. I guess you could call this late. This is more like prime time, but
Yeah, like for television,
Yeah.
but not for nonprofits.
that's true. Yeah. More like, I was up to 3 a.m. last night, so this is just nothing.
Oh, look at
I
Corey
do this every
flexing
night.
again.
Do this every night.
Look at you. What a mess.
So yeah, we have a good hour lined up for you, maybe even longer than an hour. I don't know. We're gonna take this thing as long as we have to until we reach $30,000 raised, right?
Yeah. It's beyond my
Buckle up.
bedtime. So please donate now. Hyman.org/KYGives and let us all go to bed.
Yeah,
We're not too far off though, are we, Josh? Where are we at?
No, I was just thanking some people on email right now. So let me flip over to my other screen here and refresh. And looks like we are $28,815. So we are
Wow.
just, $1,100 and some change away from getting there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's biggest day so far, or in our history of being part of these single day giving events.
As in our history,
wonderful.
as people that worked here, or as the settlement school's history?
The settlement school history. Of course, this has
Okay.
been 9 years.
Yeah.
So, and I've been here 5 or 6 at this point. I don't even know.
Still.
And
almost a decade, and this is the best we've done.
yeah, we're
And that-
getting there.
That feels like the perfect segue to thank some donors.
Yeah, Jordan, let's thank some donors that have been donating throughout the day today.
Yeah, so we got Silas House, who gave us $500. Well on our way there. We got Ashley Crow, who gave us $100. And our own Ola Pigman, who gave us $200.
The great Ola.
The
We
great-
even have, it came up relevant earlier today because Nancy Wired also gave us a gift, and she's a DAR member out in California that I actually got to visit and hold her Emmy because she was a
wow.
producer. But then Emily Whitaker, when she was here earlier today, we were talking about the yarn. So Nancy's the one that gave the yarn that I was showing Emily from the island in Ireland where the sheep only eat seaweed, and it's crazy. So yeah, it's full circle today with the live
Yeah,
streams.
I feel like that's been the theme of the day is full circle. I feel like we've said that a lot.
Yeah, it's been a big circle today. That's why. Which is another great segue to this button I recorded.
Oh, you got it ready.
That's a thick boy. Yep, that's the biggest podcast right there.
The Thick Boy
Sure
podcast.
what that is.
Nobody here or anybody listening understands what just happened.
It's in reference to a video of a fat squirrel. In case you haven't realized, we're going with it today.
We are just going with it tonight. So we had a guest lined up, but he had to cancel on us. He had a surgery of some sort and had not recovered yet. So what you have tonight is the program staff of the Hyman Settlement School. So we also got Sarah Kate here. You've heard her voice. I don't think we've... Oh, well, never mind. Her camera turned off. Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
We're doing it live.
wow.
You know what this needs? More of me.
I think we're fine.
There she
I
is.
think it has an appropriate amount of everybody.
And as you can see, our pizza boxes, because we have a little pizza party.
Yeah, we had a
hot rods.
full-on pizza party tonight. We've been living it up here at the Hyman Settlement School. So, so if you're tuning in and have no idea what's been happening today, you're probably really confused at this moment after what we've talked about for the first 10 minutes. I guess 5 minutes, because the first 5 was the countdown. But it is Kentucky Gives Day, and Josh is here now, so I'm going to let him tell us a little bit more about what Kentucky Gives Day is and what we're doing, because I've said it all day, and he's the man with the plan here.
Yeah, so Kentucky Gives Day is a statewide online giving event for 24 hours where individuals from across the Commonwealth and across the nation can support nonprofits who are doing meaningful and important work in their local communities. So we are, of course, asking you to support Hyman Settlement School today because we believe the work that we do here is vital and needed for children and families in Appalachia. But there are many nonprofits participating, and so if there are others, perhaps it's not only Hyman that you support today, but others that are participating in this event sponsored by the Kentucky Nonprofit Network. So we have two vital projects that we're asking individuals to support today, and Corey may tell more about those later. I don't want to believe if that video is going to play.
Yeah,
but
we'll play the video.
We'll play the video, so I won't go into it too much, but there's two vital projects that need your support with us today. And Sarah Kate's trying to get me, I think, some more light on my candle. But two vital projects need your support today on Kentucky Gives Day. One is to support scholarships because more than 90% of children and families who participate in settlement activities receive some form of financial aid, whether that's full or partial. And that can be for after-school music and art programs, for our weekly tutoring, for dyslexia intervention, to participate in gardening and our Grow Appalachia program. So gifts of any size are immediately put to use to provide new opportunities for those children and families. And like I said, through arts and educational support. We also are working to restore the James Still Cottage, and you're going to see some images of that as well. The James Still Cottage is where Mr. Still, a notable Appalachian author, lived and wrote many of his influential works throughout his storied career. And it was actually a property that was built here back in the early 10s and 20s, I guess, for Miss Lucy Furman, who was also a noted Appalachian author and is also in the Kentucky Writers Hall of Fame. We're actually giving away copies of her book that we re-released in 2018 called The Quare Women. Jordan might grab it and throw it up there. But gifts of $50 or more are getting copies of The Quare Women. Gifts of $100 or more are that's the Quare Women there.
No lighting, so
No lighting, but it's a book in his hand.
it is a rectangle.
It is a black rectangular book, so it shows up real well
can
in a
see
poorly lit environment. And we also, for gifts of $100 or more, we'd love to send you, a Settlement School T-shirt that we have. It's got some iconic images of campus. It's green.
And it has 3 circles, as you can see on our video.
Circles with
Full
mountains.
circle.
Uncle Saul's cabin, our iconic footbridge over Troublesome Creek, and a mountain scene of what it looks like just to peer out the window. And then also, if like I said, for gifts of $200 or more, we're actually, when this cottage is fully restored, we're giving away a weekend stay there. Not giving away, but anybody that gives $200 or more is entitled to a weekend stay at some point in the future. So we invite you to come and see the space that you've helped preserve and restore. We also have these great Foxfire books that we found in Mr. Still's cottage. There's a huge stack of these, which is, like I said, it's a Foxfire from fall 1988. It's all about Mr. Still and has works of his and about his legacy. And I think what we can probably do is anybody who makes a gift during this power hour, until they run out. And I think we have, a couple dozen of these. So giving a gift now would be is going to get you a copy, even if you already gave. So from 9 p.m. up until this power hour and live stream is over, until we run out of books, we'd love to send you one of these if you want a copy of it. Because
that's any gift amount, right?
Any gift. Yeah, any gift. We'll send one of these in the mail to you, just that way you can have a piece of the history as well. Like these were, I'm assuming that these would have been in Mr. Still, that these were his collection of them because they were in his house and they're from 1988 when he still lived here. And so, we have plenty we've kept for archives, no worries there, but we'd love to share this with folks as well. Does that sound good for you guys to have it?
Sounds great.
Find these a new home?
Solid work, Josh. That's why we turn to you for your leadership.
My best work happens at 9:10.
I agree.
We should flip the work day around.
I think so.
Make it 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, I feel like.
The only reason I'm productive at late hours is because I'm alone. I have to be really focused on what I'm doing because I'm like, I want to go to bed now. I gotta
Okay.
get this done.
That almost sounded real sad.
So it would ruin my vibes, my late night vibes.
We have a few more people that gave also. So we had Sheila and Jacobs gave us $75. Maggie, and I'm sorry I can't say your last name, but made a donation of $100. And my dearest Bria gave us $100 as well. Dear Bria.
Yeah. Speaking
There.
of
I tried to
Bria,
Hey,
invite her
Bria.
to come, but she didn't want to be a part.
speaking of Bria, we're going to turn to
She
the
wanted to be a
comments
part,
here
but she's worked hard today too.
on our Facebook. So we have comments. We can see what you guys are saying. So if you all want to chime in at any point, if you have any questions for us, we will try to get to those throughout this live stream. But Bria, she said, so close to the goal, excited to give during this power hour.
And she did, and we thank her.
Becky Elam says, I am now 4 minutes past my bedtime. We thank you, Becky, for tuning in late. I
Yeah.
think you've been here every
All
live
day.
stream
Becky's
today.
a trooper.
She
Becky
is a
is.
trooper.
She's here all the
She
time.
is one of our most ardent supporters.
I cannot wait to get back to Fort Myers.
I haven't got to go to Fort Myers yet,
Well,
so
Becky will take
Becky, I
us.
need to get on one of those trips. Okay,
We'll
You know-
fly to Punta Gorda and be there.
The reason she's so passionate is that she's a dulcimer player, and dulcimer players are among the most passionate and enthusiastic people on the planet.
And Becky,
Right, Becky?
yeah,
Yeah,
I can
she's
see
been
that
here,
from knowing you.
Becky serves on our board, our advisory board, and has been here to campus several times. And we actually have folks that just came as well from they're here with us tonight. We have 2 different groups on campus this evening and 2 different properties that we met.
Becky said everyone's invited. By the way,
Oh boy.
We're going to go.
we're coming, Becky.
Yeah, so we'll have to check in with those folks later. But coming to campus is always a great way to see the work that you're helping support, and we invite folks. You know that we're getting back to the swing of things and inviting groups on campus again.
Yeah,
Now's a good time to schedule a tour, and Jordan will show you all around campus and let you see what we're doing.
We had some DAR members show up just like an hour ago,
from
didn't we?
the Caroline Close Stewart chapter. We have 3 members from Missouri that are staying with us for the next 2 days, and we're going to check out some schools tomorrow and visit, see our tutoring programs. And yeah, we have some other folks with us as well, but they're not part of a tour, but they're just here, and we're happy to have them.
Would they be interested in doing some planting of some?
They very well might. They're they're looking for activities to do, so we have to run that around.
There's a lot of that
Always-
going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, Corey's
hopefully.
got some planting to do, so
Assuming it doesn't rain like it has for the
Every
past
day.
week or 2, which
You
has
know-
been terrible.
A lot of people probably think that's a terrible thing, but it's actually kind of fun.
Well,
fun.
I lost the key to my little walk behind tractor. So that set me behind a week, and then it's rained ever since I got a new key. So I am way behind on my planting schedule right now. So some other comments we got going on here. Michael Palencia Roth, one of our board members, says, y'all are doing great. Proud of you. Thanks, Michael. Sharon Withers said, you may need to set another stretch goal for the last 3 hours. I mean, whenever we had this idea to do this, my goal was to get 50,000. So
that's a stretch.
that is a stretch.
Golly, Corey, double or out. Double down, $100,000 before midnight.
But we're just
I am dedicated. We could stay here till midnight until we get to 50,000. We'll just pester you all night until.
yeah, we're just actually less than $1,000 away at this point now, so we're getting ever closer. So Sharon may be right.
I love how you
Of course,
said
Sharon also has wonderful things to say. If you've not seen the video that Sharon shared with us, past Registrar General for the National Society of Daughters of the American Revolution, and a Kentucky daughter and a friend of the school. We go to our Facebook page and check out all the videos that board members and friends sent in and shared about why they give to Hyman.
Yeah, we just had one go out at 8:30.
Yeah,
Susie.
from
Miss Susie.
Miss Merritt.
She's watching right now.
Yeah, hey Susie. She gave
Hey,
us a video.
Susie.
She didn't think we were going to share it out, but we saved her for prime time and got it out too.
We thank everybody that sent those videos out.
Yeah.
And Jordan just gave his gift during the power hour. He's been waiting all day.
You?
Yep,
Okay.
right then. You see it?
Yeah, I need to do it too. I might try to work on mine when we get to play this video right now.
Oh yeah.
So let's get to the Kentucky Gives Day video highlighting our projects brought to you by the Troublesome Boys, which is me and Jordan.
Hard transition.
Hard transition. I
Love
gotta
it.
find it. I gotta go to this little menu.
Silence.
The time is ticking.
I'm just gonna hold it. Just make this as awkward as possible.
That's what we should do. Let's stare directly at them.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Hey everyone, my name is Corey Terry.
And I'm Jordan Collins.
May 11th is a special day in Kentucky. It's Kentucky Gives Day, a statewide day set aside for Kentucky nonprofits to raise money to continue their life-changing work.
This year for Kentucky Gives Day, our focus here at Heinemann Settlement School is preserving and providing.
You may be familiar with notable author James Steele, who is also known as the Dean of Appalachian Literature. He wrote such books as River of Earth, the Wolf Pen Poems, China Berry, and The Run for the Albertas.
Mr. Steele was a longtime employee of the Heinemann Settlement School who helped found the Appalachian Writers Workshop and touched the lives of many Eastern Kentucky children and inspired a renaissance of Appalachian literature.
Well, I think that any Appalachian writer would think of James Steele's writing as really foundational. I mean, I don't think you can really understand Appalachian literature without knowing River of Earth, knowing James Steele's poetry. I know that reading James Steele's poetry hugely influenced my work. I wrote a whole novel in reaction to one of his poems. And I think that he was one of the first writers to really give us an identity, to really form what Appalachian literature is. So, I mean, he's one of the cornerstones. So we just can't underestimate how important he is to our literature.
For part of Mr. Steele's time here at the settlement, he lived in a small cottage here on campus that sits on the hill overlooking Heinemann. The cottage is one of the oldest structures that we have here on campus.
In its early days, it was used by Miss Lucy Furman, the author of Queer Women. Mr. Steele inherited this cottage from her and spent many of his days and nights there penning short stories and poems.
Mr. Mike Mullins, he said he would come here to the settlement school early in the morning before daylight. He was the director, and he would come before daylight. He would sit in his office and he would look out up on that hill where that little cottage is, and Mr. Steele, and the light would be on up there early morning because Mr. Steele would be reading. He just loved to read. He'd lay in bed and read. He's an avid reader. And so that made him a great writer because he was well versed in so many subjects. He read everything right up there on that hill.
For this Kentucky Gives Day, the settlement is seeking to preserve the legacy of this historic property, creating a living library seated with Mr. Steele's extensive book collection and provide an inspirational haven for writers to reflect on and refine their works.
This will ensure that Mr. Steele's legacy is honored, continuing to be a source of inspiration and admiration for both the writers and readers of this region and abroad for years to come.
For any writer to be able to stay in the place where he spent so much time and still contains his creative spirit is, of great value. I've been lucky to stay at James Steele's cottage before, and just to know that such great work was composed there, and to look out on the same views he looked out on, and to walk that same walk down the mountainside that he walked down that little path, and things like that made me a better writer. It gave my writing more energy during that time I was there. So I think it'd be an incredible place for a writer to stay.
Mr. Steele, there's so many years, and he helped with, he's got the reading program named after him. He read to the dyslexic children, and he went through the county reading his poems and short stories. And it was such an integral part of the settlement school for so many years. So we're trying to keep that spirit alive in that little cottage on the hill where Lucy Furman and James Steele lived, right here at the Heinemann Settlement School. Please donate, keep it alive.
Since 1902, Heinemann Settlement School has been at the forefront of meeting the changing needs of Central Appalachia. In 2020, the Settlement School expanded our educational offerings with the Reading Corps program, providing much-needed services to children struggling to read in Knott, Perry, and Leslie counties.
Additionally, we are continuing to provide new and exciting opportunities for students to explore the traditional arts of the region through our Pick and Bowl program and the Common Threads program. More than 90% of children receive financial assistance to participate in our Dyslexia Summer program, after-school music and arts, and weekly tutoring. As the size of our program grows, as does the need for scholarship support for children with dyslexia or dyslexic characteristics.
Gifts of any size will immediately be put to work providing new opportunities to learn an instrument, explore their creativity through fiber and visual arts, and educational support for children at risk of reading failure. Please join us this Kentucky Gives Day by making a donation to the Hyman Settlement School so we can continue to change lives and celebrate the culture of Appalachia.
Thank you for your continued support and care for not only the school, but the people we serve.
Hey everyone, my name
Yep, the video tried to go again. Yeah, so if you want to donate, the link to go to is www.hyman.org/KY-Gives, or you can go to the Kentucky Gives website, type in Hyman Settlement School there. Either way, you can get there and donate to the Hyman Settlement School for Kentucky Gives Day. So yeah, we want to get to some discussion tonight about our programs. We have, I guess, most of our program staff here now. Some people missing. So yeah, we want to get Sarah Kate. She's going to tell us a little bit more about. If you were here this morning, we played a video of her performing a cranky, and I'm going to let her tell us a little bit more about what that is and explain to you what it is, and then we can show you the video that she produced. So Sarah Kate, let us know what's going on here.
So this thing next to me is called a cranky. Crankies are an old form of storytelling, illustrated storytelling. They were popular. They were often called moving panoramas. They were popular in like Victorian era, and they're essentially a scroll with a illustrated story that scrolls past from one dowel to another. And so that's what this is here. Hence the name Cranky. So if you you can crank it and the story moves by like so. And the cranky that you'll see in just a second is one that I made that sort of illustrates the origin story, the founding story of Hyman Settlement School. Yeah, and in the archives at the Hyman Settlement School, there is a recording of a pageant that was written in 1952 for the 50th anniversary of the Hyman Settlement School. It was written by Una Ritchie Jacob, who was Gene Ritchie's older sister, one of the singing family of the Cumberlands, the Ritchie family. And this was a pageant that Una wrote. Una and several Ritchie sisters attended Hyman Settlement School at the time, and they wrote this pageant, and so the pageant itself is like 50 minutes long. It's pretty long. It would be too much to illustrate. So I transferred it from cassette tape to MP3, and then edited it down to 8 minutes, which took forever, and then illustrated it via this cranky. And the cranky itself, this is made out of vellum paper, which is like a see-through-ish paper, and then these are all just black construction paper. Cut out as silhouettes, and then in the video, how it's backlit with candles like this.
Spooky.
I don't know if you can see it like so.
Yeah.
And that kind of creates a really cool dramatic effect. So that's what you're seeing when you see the cranky video.
I was real concerned whenever I came here last night and saw flames next to this thing. And
I know, it was precarious, and I was up there cranking it, and it was like being on top of a blazing fire.
Flames in Uncle Saul's cabin are never something you want to see.
I know. I was like, leave it to me to burn down Uncle Saul's cabin.
I bet that wood is pretty dry.
It was ready for it.
After 170 years. Pretty dry.
Yeah, so she put a lot of work in on that.
It was a team effort, though.
We were in a program staff meeting on Monday when she's sitting there cutting things out during the meeting.
Listen, I got to keep my hands busy.
Yeah, Sarah Kate's always crafting.
I'm always
Staff
crafted.
meetings.
Listen, that's why I'm here.
She's been embroidering, cutting out. She's always busy.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and show you the video and let you hear the story of the Hyman Settlement School.
Don't forget to turn all the lights out.
How the
Extra
pattern,
ambiance.
how the pattern grew.
Lord into his garden comes, the spices yield a rich perfume, the lilies grow and thrive, the lilies grow and thrive. Refreshing shares of grace divine from Jesus flow to every vine.
How the Pattern Grew is a pageant that was given in 1952 by friends in the community to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Heinemann Settlement School. It was written by Una Ritchie Jakob.
We want to hear and see everything. Tell us about the olden days first, and all about the cloth houses, everything, right up to now.
Well, the olden days, as you say, and actual years, was not so long ago.
How be ye?
Howdy, Shade. Come in and pull you up a chair. You been up to the Forks?
Yeah, I've been up the right hand a piece. Heard there was some trouble up there at the Cornhorn. Hard work and slim living ain't enough to fill a body up.
My grandpap always claimed that folks ought to have left when the game was gone and looked for places in the level land. It'd be mighty queer to live where there's no mountains.
No place else would be home to me. Its ridges leaning back agin the sky. Everywhere a man looked, a green hill a-making a boundary to what the naked eye could see. So close and friendly round the body that they get into the inner vision of his heart, so that sometimes he sees them and again he don't, but feels them round him there just the same, like a well-known garment worn with use.
Makes me feel just the way I always do when I'm a-weaving, like I ought to catch all the pretty fine things that ever was and weave 'em right down in the web.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy,
Howdy,
Gabe.
Gabe.
Nothing new up left-hand fork?
Heard tell there's a queer woman in these parts. Calls herself Miss Pettit. They say she carries a whole lot of little old bitty pokes of blossom seeds and gives them to everybody she meets up with.
Is she stuck up at all?
Just as common as anybody.
I'm going up the creek tomorrow. If I see the queer woman and happen she give me some of them fotch-on blossom seed, I'll fetch you some.
Shade, I'd be mighty beholden to you.
And they really came to Hazard that summer, didn't they?
Yes, they lived in tents, borrowed from the state militia, and decorated with flags and kindergarten chains.
The people called them cloth houses. And the teachers queer women because they seemed so strange to us.
They taught classes in cooking, sewing, home nursing, singing, and kindergarten. There were all sorts of socials and play parties.
The second summer, they came to Hyman. How did they happen to come here, I wonder? Well, that was because of Uncle Solomon. Haven't you heard about him?
There appeared in Hazard one morning an old man.
Good morning. My name is May Stone.
Howdy. I'm Solomon Evertram over on Troublesome.
Troublesome is quite a distance away, isn't it?
It's about 20 miles, I allow. I always walk barefooted. Never could get used to shoes. Well, I wanted to ask ye to come over into the valleys of the Troublesome and bring learning to the folks there. I want my grands and great-grands to have the chance I never had.
That's a wonderful request, Mr. Everidge.
They did come to Heinemann that next summer, the summer of 1900, and pitched their tents on the hill behind the town. It was a wonderful summer. The classes were large and eagerly attended. The people liked the kind of thing the women were trying to do. Their firm belief in the common integrity of the human spirit was a kind of religion they lived. In 1902, they returned, and that was the beginning of the Heinemann Settlement School. It was the very first rural social settlement anywhere. Health work was one of the big things from the very beginning. It is hard for us to realize that there were no hospitals in the mountains. Many clinics, eyes, ears, nose, and throat, but especially tonsil clinics, were held. So from the very beginning, there was the continual concern with health. There was also, from the beginning, a purpose to foster and revive the old mountain hand industries. Why, here comes Aunt Cort now with a bunch of baskets.
Oh, what lovely baskets. How are you, Aunt Cord?
Well, I know how you love things folks make with their hands, and I just wanted to show them off to you.
We'll take all you make, Aunt Cord. We can find a market for them.
There was a coming of Mr. Cecil Sharp, all the way from England to collect our songs.
He got many songs right here, didn't he?
Girls, I'd like to have you sing that song about the little devils to Mr. Sharp.
Beautiful, beautiful. This is most exciting. Do you know I've hunted all over England for a version of that song with the whistling refrain?
Either your son or your daughter I crave.
How does that whistling go again?
It's your old scolding wife and it's her Emma's
Da
house.
da 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 dee 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 dee.
He hobbles her up
Da
all
da
on
da
his
da
back.
da 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 da
Like a
da
bull pattern
da
was
da
taking her back,
da
sing
da
high, oh
da.
rattling day, as they drew near the high gates of hell.
The later years of the school have been less dramatic, just as steady working on, turning over to the county the things they are ready to take over, and the settlement continuing with special things that will enrich the whole program. And so, from where the pattern grew, the threads lead out into an ever-widening web, with tents from all our dreams and worth of what we were and are to shape the times to come. If we have sounded the nostalgic note to call up what was good and satisfying in our youth, it is not that we believe old times were best and the now does not have merit. And knowing this, believe man's best is ever greater than his worst can be. Yes, all the tools of knowledge we possess, and this bright thread that runs throughout and gives such spirit to the whole. It is, I think, the gift of selfless service patterned by your founders and others in their time. Pass on, weavers of the future.
Just lovely, I do say.
Mighty fine.
Mighty fine. Thank you so much for doing that, Sarah.
No
Kate.
problem. I was going to say one of my favorite bits that I had to leave out was there was the part where they when they first set up in Hazard, and the narrator is saying, and everyone, the tent schools were widely received. Everybody enjoyed it. Even the meanest boys liked it. Even the mean little boys liked it.
That's me.
I was like, that's nice.
Even Jordan liked education.
I like me some learning.
Even them little bratty boys.
All right.
We are $585 away from our goal.
Just $560 now.
That's amazing. Woo!
$560.
I know, just it's inching closer.
Just a slow drip to $30,000. But
We're going to get there.
And we're going to recognize some of the people who gave.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So after I said that I gave, Corey gave.
Corey remembered that he needed to go do the same thing.
Yep. So Corey and Liz Terry gave. And Morgan Lake gave $200. And my lovely lady, Kat Coatley, also gave in our power hour. I hope she's listening. Hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Nima Avashia also gave. And Elizabeth and Melissa, our own Melissa Pigman, who works in our dyslexia program, also gave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Just goes by first name, so thank you to Elizabeth. You know who you are.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, I hope she's watching. Hey.
Yeah. So many other friends gave. I mean, we're up to, I think there was 134 individuals so far today. You know, I think, you know, it's really not a competition. We're very competitive here. You know, it's really just about supporting nonprofits and raising awareness. But, you know, I'm thrilled to say that we have a ton of individual support. You know, if you look at the leaderboards on the website, you can see Highman Summit School has a lot of friends that really chip in and support the work that we do. And so even if we didn't say your name now, hopefully we said it earlier. I've been trying to send thank you notes out all day, you know, just personally thanking individuals too for their gifts. So thank you all really so much for those 134 people who have chosen to support the school today. And for those that support us every day and maybe can't give today or have already given, you know, in the days and weeks leading up or are planning to give in the days and weeks ahead, thank you so much. We appreciate it today and every day.
Yes, indeed. So I guess we want to get to some conversation now, a little bit more about our programming. Josh, you're going to be our resident fill-in for a dyslexia program tonight. We were going to talk about the dyslexia program. So Josh, fill us in on what's happening.
Yeah, so there's so many great things happening. We've been talking about it all day, and that's what we were hoping to talk a little bit more tonight with our guests, but I will try to fill in. The dyslexia program is really has grown so much over the last year, particularly through the launch of Reading Corps. So when if I say the phrase Reading Corps and you've never heard of that before, what that means is the Settlement School has long been had reading labs for the last decade in Knott County Public Schools. So we often talk about after-school tutoring and summer school and screening, but the day-to-day work of our dyslexia program is in reading labs that have been happening in Knott County Public Schools for a decade, and in what was a full-time school that we had on campus before the reading labs started. So this last year, we have received financial support through an AmeriCorps grant, and we've actually been able to get more tutors. We have 30 additional tutors, and so every Knott County school, all the schools are in Perry County, I think all except for one right now have one or more tutors in them. The Hazard Independent School District and most Leslie County schools have one or more tutors that are serving students every day with dyslexia and its characteristics. And so it's just a great opportunity that we've had this last year to expand the important and impactful work that Ola and her team do out of the James Still Learning Center every day. So, and what's another great thing, you know, we can chime in more into that, but if you're listening and are in the area and you think your child could benefit from services, you know, because before it was always just a few schools here in Knott County had reading labs, and then we could do after school tutoring in summer. But now we really have an opportunity for children in four school districts and across 3 counties to get daily support services, so we've heard so many wonderful stories about children who've been in after school, you know, that been getting, which is an important thing. That's very intensive and focused and a long session. But, you know, the students now that we're in Perry County that can get daily intervention plus the after school tutoring as well. So they've just been able to make progress leaps and bounds faster and deeper than they would have without this expansion. And so that's been in part due to a federal grant, but that does require match funds. And so that's what all this money today for scholarships that people are, if you're designating towards that, and people that have contributed in the past and are generous sponsors through Save the Children, Berea College, the Kentucky Social Welfare Foundation, who we have some local supporters who serve on that board, and Robinson Mountain Fund, that they have helped make that possible because it's, like I said, a large grant that's been able to do a lot of good work. But, there's a match requirement that our donors and friends have to help us fulfill of around 25%. So around $250,000 a year we have to come up with privately in order to continue that important work. But then the other part is the summer school. So we haven't missed summer school, not even last year during the thick of the pandemic. And so this year, of course, if we figured out a way last year, we'll do it again this year. And so we actually are doing a hybrid format this year where students can be online. We're not doing our residential component, so if you can commute to campus, and we are welcoming a certain number of students back on campus, and all those on-campus spots are full right now. And we actually have around 36 students who are participating virtually. So we actually have 51, which is the largest since I've been here. I think they may have said they've done that number before. We usually kind of cap at 48. Usually we're around 45 is the number, but just so much demand and need from students who are a little bit farther behind, from not having in-person instruction, and from maybe not having as much, time outside of school. So need a little bit more, a little boost this summer. And so we've had more need, and actually we have a waiting list now of about 5 or 6 students because we just can't handle, there's just a limit to how many people we can actually serve. So we hope to be able to get everybody in that wants to participate, but we're excited to have students back on campus this summer. It'll be fun to see smiling faces, and
indeed.
That's been something I've really missed.
And the smell of chicken nuggets wafting from the dining hall. And, it was going to be a good time to see people again. And even Writers Workshop that, I help work with here with Silas House, our board member and a friend. We're going to have a hybrid mix of those folks back on campus. So I think we have around 25 or 30 who will be with us later this summer in July for an on-campus Writers Workshop. And then another, typically we admit around 70 to 80 folks, so around another 50-ish that may be participating virtually. So it's going to be nice to see some faces back on campus, and that's the thing I'm most proud of this last year of the whole team is how everyone's just found a way to do it. Lots of nonprofits or lots of organizations. We struggled a little bit too to find our way at the start, but the thing I'm most proud of is that we figured it out. We had summer school. We figured out Writers Workshop. We launched into 3 different school districts and hired 40 people. And
in the middle of a pandemic.
And many of the folks, Sarah, Kate, and Jordan, and Corey took on, either came to the settlement school or took on new roles during that and have flourished. So it has been a wonderful year. And
And going back,
let's put a button on that. I mean, just imagine what we can do not in the middle of a pandemic and not with
the pandemonium,
not in the pandemonium, and not with capacity restrictions, and not being able to have people here. Just imagine what we can do.
Yeah.
And we're just turned loose. Just turn us loose, y'all. We're ready.
We have no idea how high we can fly.
Yeah. Icarus, take us to the sun.
Hopefully there'll be some people out there that know the reference.
What was the reference? I missed it. Flew over my head.
You have no idea how high I can fly.
I do not, actually.
Okay. You don't need to know.
You know what? If you told me, I'll probably oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's fine. But Josh reminded me. So we went to Hobby Lobby recently to get a
shout out
a frame for the for the portrait. That
shout out to the friend of the Pikeville Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, our friend.
This live stream is brought to you by the Hobby Lobby of Pikeville, Kentucky.
I don't think it is.
Please sponsor us.
Please don't sue us.
No, but he said that we were buying a frame, and he asked about our mask because we have Hyman Settlement School mask.
And, everywhere we go.
Yep, and he said my son was in the dyslexia program. I can't remember how many years. You remember?
No, I think he was your age or so older. So
well, he's grown now, and he said that his son was bringing home C's and D's before our program, and once he got in the program and started learning how to overcome those differences, he was bringing home straight A's. His dad said he expected B's, at least B's, but then he brought home straight A's.
Yeah.
And he said that his
Wow.
mom cried.
Oh.
So it's just really nice hearing that, all these years later, at least a decade later,
Yeah.
and the impact that we can make that way. So it
it's
does
okay.
work, and it's nice to hear that, what you give is making a difference.
Yeah, the father. I mean, the father was the one that we were talking to there at the framing station, and he was, he was so proud of his son too, just at what success he was having. He was able to find a good career and was successful in life and was supporting himself and his family, and it was, not solely thanks to the dyslexia program, but played a role for certain in his academic and self-confidence. It's more than just making good grades is what you hear from families and, Ola and people in our staff would say. It's really about the self-confidence that students develop, and that once they start believing in themselves that they can and they can do it, and that once they start seeing the accomplishment, they just know that the sky's the limit. They see how high they can fly.
And that's why we do what we do.
Full circle, just for you.
Full circle. But some things did happen in the time that we were talking. Josh can probably enlighten me a little bit more on this, but the KNN Morning Power Hour.
Yeah, so we're not really going to count. I mean, we can count that if we got real desperate, but they have accredited us our $250 bonus from this morning.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it does show $29,703, but that's with a $250 bonus that y'all helped us earn during that morning power hour.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that does count. It's there, so it's in. But we would love to hit 30,250 because just to get 30,000 plus the bonus we earned.
I'm still shooting for that 50,000.
Corey's still on 50. But we're getting close. Depending on, like I said, depending on how desperate we get, it's we're either $297 away or we're math. It's over 500 at this point. So if you take the 250 out, so what is that? 547 away if you're not doing that. So yeah, we're on $500 away from our goal.
Sorry, it got real quiet because everyone was like, "Oh, this is why Josh does the grant stuff."
This is why Josh is the money person.
And Sarah Kate plays instruments, and
That's
Jordan
right.
writes papers because we can't.
And Corey presses the buttons over here.
Yeah.
Everybody has a skill, so that's what we do.
Mine is not. I was very much shocked.
Uncle Bob's calling you out, Jordan.
Oh yeah.
He said he doesn't believe that there's anything in your cup.
There is stuff in my cup. I'll pour it out on the table right now.
My mom actually texted me earlier about this and wondered how many, if that was a bottomless.
All day, Arizona green tea.
Brought to you by Hobby Lobby.
At Arizona
Green
Please
Tea.
don't sue us.
My cup still has a little bit of remnants in it.
There's stuff in here.
Brought to you by Dunder Mifflin Paper Company.
So where are we?
So we got it's 9:48. We're
getting close.
12 minutes to the hour, and which means nothing until
we're almost
until
there.
that says $30,000.
Yeah, so maybe I'm gonna put Corey on the spot. Maybe we could play a video of one of our friends that sent us a video in. Maybe I'm not sure who that is. We have many of them: Miss Watts and Miss Withers and Merida, and I'm forgetting some, but maybe we can pick one. I think we heard from Silas already today, so. Or just in the last video.
Let me pull up one here.
Yeah, but maybe we could hear from the words of a local person or a board member about why they're choosing to give, and that will give everybody a chance to.
Let's hear
click
from
a few
our
buttons.
Good friend and avid supporter, Miss Karen Watts.
Love Miss Watts. She recorded that right over here.
Yep.
Right over there she sat.
Yeah. Actually, in the almost the same spot I'm sitting right now. It's a little bit to the left.
Karen is who I want to grow up to be.
You love Karen.
She is one of my role models. That is for sure.
I adore her.
She doesn't have Facebook. She probably isn't hearing any of this. I don't think. But we love her nonetheless.
She can feel it in her heart.
She gets those emails, so if you ever put this on there, she'll hear it then.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
Hello, my name is Karen Watts, and I live here in Hindman. And I just wanted to tell you how much the Hindman Settlement School means to me, being a resident of Hindman. I've partnered with the Hindman Settlement School through the food waste program with helping people at the housing project, people at the nursing home with extra things that they've had. We've done many projects together, and we've seen it make a big difference in people's lives. I've seen the farmers market grow because of the Hyman Settlement School. The outreaches that they do is just amazing, and I'm just so thankful that I get to partner with them. And I hope you'll join me today in giving to the Hyman Settlement School so we can continue to make a difference in Hyman. Thank you. Hello, my name is Karen.
Gotta start getting on that quicker. No, it starts over on me. Yeah, so we thank Miss Karen Watts for giving us a little word of support there. And as she said, if you want to donate to the Hyman Settlement School, you can go to www.hyman.org/KY Gives, and you can find a little spot there to. I think it'll direct you to the Kentucky Gives website, and you can. That's where you will make your donation if you would like.
Yeah, we're actually up to 29,903.
Oh,
so close!
So, we really need. I said 30,250 to really hit the goal. But Miss Sherry, and I'm not going to pronounce her last name, but she let us know about. It says, my brother James Phelps loved Hyman and gave selflessly to the community until his death, and that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
He told our family such heartwarming stories about the wonderful people in the community. In his honor, I want to help preserve this awesome organization. So yeah, James Phelps, Jim, lived here on campus for a number of years. And I got to work with Jim, so I was a 4-H agent. Prior to coming here. And so Jim was actually here in Knott County when I was a 4-H agent as well. And so it was just, I got to work with him in 2 different ways. And it was fun. So we missed Jim a lot.
For sure. He was my neighbor. And lives where Sarah Kate lives at now. So
yeah.
I think that would make a good podcast episode, is talking to somebody from...
from Jim's family.
Yeah.
I love Jim.
Talk about the legacy of Jim Phelps.
Inspiration.
Yeah, sure.
Inspiration.
Always.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd met him a couple of times before I came here,
4-H camp.
Well, no, it wasn't 4-H camp. It was when I was with the Artisan Center over there. And I'd talked to him, and he talked about, how he was in, what was it? It was some kind of soil science or something, like one of the hardest degrees.
He was an agronomist. Is he agronomist or, I'm saying the wrong word, agronomy is something else. Sorry.
Sure.
But yeah.
But
thank you, Sherry. And we truly do miss Jim as well. And he always had such heartwarming things to say. That is so true.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, if you're out there listening still, you can please comment. And if there's anything you want to know, want to talk about, want us to talk about, have any questions, it can be anything. You can ask us what our favorite food is, what Jordan's favorite lunch is. He has
I'm sure you know.
A bushel of apples.
He has 2 options.
A bag of carrots.
A bag of cherry tomatoes and grapefruit.
It's always
2 quarts of cherry tomatoes.
It's always in quantity. Yes. I'm a man of quantity over quality.
Yeah, so we'll be happy to answer those questions. And I wanted to make an announcement. You may have seen it pop up earlier on accident, so somebody was asking earlier today if I guess Becky was saying we should do our podcast on a live stream. We may do that we will do that at some point, but you can expect a lot more live streaming activity happening here at the Hyman Settlement School. We got a sweet setup going on here.
Yeah.
We got to make good use of this. So we'll be doing some live streams at the Writers Workshop, and this Thursday actually we will have. That's not the picture I wanted. This is the picture I wanted. Our next Agrilacha is What's Cooking Now with Jenny Williams and Jonathan Piercy, and they're going to be here on campus at the Settlement School in our kitchen. Cooking a variety of things and just having a good old chat about food and culture. So please tune into that this Thursday at 7 p.m. on the Hyman Settlement School Facebook page, and you'll see more about that coming up once we get through this Kentucky Gives Day, which has flooded our social media websites with memes and videos and all kinds of things.
You're welcome. They're very spicy.
Spicy,
put the spicy stuff till after dinner, so that's why it's all coming now.
Yeah, it's been a full evening of content from the Hyman Settlement School.
It took me a while to get the inspiration, but once I did, it didn't stop. So.
Yeah, that was the motivation behind everything, is to just flood you with content so you cannot help but say, I should just give them some money and donate to the Hyman Settlement School.
Also, Bob.
Refill.
More drink.
We were talking a few minutes ago. I know people may be coming up with questions, but Sarah Kate was going to chime in.
Sure.
About some.
What you want to know?
Well, we were talking earlier. I don't know if it's the same. You mentioned when we were on at 4 about a student that was performing at Berea College.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same student that I was just talking about a minute ago, or is that?
It is not, but I can talk about both.
I would love to hear about both.
Yeah. Well, we have so many talented students in Pick and Bow, and so many of them are just not only have raw talent, but have the work ethic to follow through. And so many students just show up every week ready to play music, their instrument tuned. They're so excited to play. One of our students, Riley Melton from over in Cordia, Riley plays guitar and he sings, and I think he's in 5th grade, and he's been playing for a long time, and he will be performing at the Berea College Celebration of Traditional Music in November. And he's representing the Hyman Settlement School and showing off his amazing skills on guitar. He's one of Scott Napier's students. Who else should I talk about? A good story from Pick and Bow this year. Another success story of many. Is one of our students, Wyatt Sloan, one of our banjoists. And Wyatt has been in Pick and Bow from the very beginning, from the very first semester when it started. And he is a masterful clawhammer player, and he is every week he's there, and he's ready to go, and he practices, and he works hard, and he is creative with his playing. I like how Wyatt absorbs the songs and then he sort of reinterprets them, and I love how he plays the banjo. And Wyatt, because he's just so dedicated, and for the past, I guess, 3 years, he's always borrowed an instrument from the Settlement School. Part of our Pick and Bow program is we have a large collection of loaner instruments that students can borrow for a whole semester, and they can take it home. And so Wyatt has just borrowed it every single semester, which is never a problem. That's what we have them for, But we had a gentleman reach out to me after hearing about our Pick and Bow program, and he wanted to remain anonymous, but he asked me, "Hey, I've got this old 1980 Vega banjo," which, if you're a banjo person, that's a cool banjo. It's a high class banjo, and he was like, "I want to donate this to your program, either as a loaner instrument or as to gift it to a student." And I immediately thought of Wyatt. And so we got the banjo fixed up, and we got it ready to give it to him. And Wyatt now has a banjo of his very own. And he's just picking away at it every single day. And if you want to go see him play, you can go check out the Pick and Bow Variety Show on the Hyman Settlement School Facebook page. Yeah, lots of good relationships are being built with Pick and Bow.
Yeah. And if people were local here, could they expect to see some clawhammer action from Wyatt at the farmers market?
Absolutely, yeah. If you're local, coming up a week from today, May 18th, the Pick and Bow folks are going to be performing at the Knott County Farmers Market. So come down. The farmers market is just down in the farmers market pavilion in front
of
the
Lynn Young Outdoor Classroom.
Yes.
Given of a gift of the junior membership committee.
Perfect.
And it's in honor of former President General Anthony Young from Texas.
I'm so glad you know these
things. Yeah, I just want you to know it has a name, and we want it's the Young Outdoor Classroom.
Well, it's located right in front of Knott County Library.
In Paul Earp Field.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I thought about going live earlier. We were having soccer practice down there earlier, and I took the camera out there and was filming them, getting some shots of it. But
in Earp Field, and I'm sure if Bob is still listening, he could tell me. I should know. It's getting late, but I believe the Earp's Paul and Helen were. Mr. Earp was a recreation director some
Yeah, I think
title
so.
like that at some point. And Miss Earp also worked here at this school as well in their history. But so yeah, it has a name. Everything has a name. I've learned it over time. I still learn some things, but yeah.
Well, as I was saying, in Earp Field, in the young classroom, under classroom, at 5 o'clock on May 18th, y'all come out and buy some good produce and listen to our Pick and Bow students perform our Pick and Bow showcase at the farmers market.
Yeah. Speaking of produce, I should have some kale. And
nice.
hopefully we'll have some peas if I have enough in quantity, if I don't eat them all before. Because every time I find one that's almost full, that's when I like them. I don't want them to be full. I could grab one and snack on it. So there may be some.
We've learned something about Corey. He likes his peas almost there.
But he steals the produce.
Peas never make it back to the house. Peas are like the in-garden
they're
snack.
so good. Yeah.
They never make it home.
And we will have cucumbers, which we have in large quantity right now, coming in from our high tunnel greenhouse.
They are delicious.
They are delicious.
They're kind of sweet, real juicy. Love a good cucumber.
I like a cucumber.
And not to interrupt, but I would love to say that Miss Sherry Powers, a dear friend and our board chair, gave us $50. So we're just so close. 47 away from hitting 30,000.
Who's going to take us over?
One $50 gift would do it.
Who is going to take us over the threshold?
225s.
225s, 510s.
I mean, we got a bell over here.
51s, whatever it takes.
I think whoever takes us over is going to get this bell ringing. You think?
I'm gonna ring that bell till it breaks. It's real loud too.
If you see him pull that bell up, you probably should just go ahead and like smack your volume down or something.
Mute it real hard, real quick.
So thank you, Dr. Powers, and
yeah, thank you, Miss Sherry Powers.
Dr. Sherry Powers.
Dr. Sherry Powers. Doctor.
She worked hard for that, Corey.
She did. You got to make sure that's out there.
It's true.
What do we got in comments, Corey?
What do we got in the comments? Bria Stacy saw the Pick and Bro variety show. She loved seeing the kids at their various levels of performances. Mm-hmm. And Becky Elam had the last pickle for supper last night from our Tadpole Hollow Pickles.
Oh.
And you can also have some of those pickles if you go to our website at hyman.org/shop. And you can find all of our wonderful supplies from our craft shop, and we would love to send those to you.
Very nice job.
Yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about. I'll say one thing, and then maybe you can go in further. So we just, of course, we're another friend of the school and on our board, Miss Weta Michael, a chef. We just released with our Fireside Industries imprint with the University Press her cookbook. It's called Just a Few Miles South. So Weta and Sarah Osborne and Jeannie Graff, illustrations by Brenna Flannery. Released last week, 2 weeks ago now, right before
April 26th.
Yeah, the week before Derby, and so it's available for purchase now. And there's also some fun things we're doing since it's a book that we released from our imprint to kind of promote it, and that's something Corey's been working on.
Yeah, so if you remember, during the holiday seasons, we do a sort of food gift box, and we're trying to make that more of a year-round thing of different options. So you'll see more things coming out here in the future. But for right now, we have the Weta Michael signature box, the signature Weta Michael box. And so in that box, you will have a copy of her book and some different items to cook some of the recipes from her book from producers that she recommends. So in there, you will find EK3 Farms cornmeal, which comes from a local grist mill from Pikeville, or near Pikeville is where they're from. And they actually connected here at the Settlement School a couple of years ago at Dumplings and Dancing. He brought his mill here and milled some cornmeal fresh here on the grounds. You also have a jar of our Tadpole Hollow pickles, some soup beans, and a Broadbent Farms country ham hock. So Kentucky Proud products.
Very nice box.
Yes, it is a wonderful box. And you also have the option to add on something else that we've been working on, and that is a class through the Makery, which is our online course management. And we have different on-demand classes that we're working on there, and also a series of instructor-led writing classes that happen every semester. But we produced a on-demand class with WIDA. We went up to Holly Hill Inn, me, Jordan, and Josh. Not Josh. Josh, did you go, Josh? Josh
did not go.
Me, Jordan, and Stephen Bell, one of my friends, helped us do the filming and everything of that sort. Yeah, we went up there and filmed a wonderful class. She cooked different things from her book. So she did some Whitesburg soup beans. She did spoon bread. She did skillet cornbread, cheese grits, and hot water cornbread, which I've never heard of, but that was interesting.
A lot of interesting corn dishes.
Yeah.
This is corn all day long.
Me and Jordan ate really good while we were there, and it was a splendid,
Hey, Jordan.
splendid time.
Yeah.
Get the bell.
Oh,
Is it time?
I know
This
you
bell?
You may not see it on your end, but on my back end.
Oh, I see.
and
I see
going-
someone made a donation. I
Yeah,
was
but
about
it's
to
not
ask.
updated yet. But on my back end, I can see, and it's in the interest of going in full circle. It's coming from Jane Waldrop, who is our next Fireside Industries
Jane
author in her book
gosh.
Drowntown, coming out this fall. She has pushed us over, and we are our total
Give me that number, Josh.
as of now is $30,152.50.
Ring that
Woo!
Such level of excitement.
So
Solid.
loud.
Thank
Don't it
you,
make you feel like you're at a Long John's?
Jane,
Yeah.
Jane,
What a
Jane
rush,
and
guys.
Alex, for your
I've never felt more alive.
This is so fun.
I know. I can't. I'm actually in shock that we hit the goal. Actually, we had another gift. Maybe someone else. I mean,
Let's just keep going. Let's just
yeah,
keep going.
Lou Ann Ferguson. So actually, we have actually really made 30,000 plus the 250 now. So we're at $30,252.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks to Miss Lou Ann Ferguson, who's
So
a
much
friend, I believe,
excitement.
up in Michigan, if my memory serves me right.
We're setting a high bar for next year.
I know. Josh, you better get on it.
Glad Ann will be here for that. Whew.
That's amazing.
I'm just
Man.
shocked that it happened.
We did it.
We did it.
We
Now
did
it's-
it.
So now 50. How far is it away from 50?
We can do.
We're gonna have
Well,
one
thank you all
anonymous.
so much. I mean, we are just, I'm in awe and in shock that we were actually able to hit 30. We started the day out with a $15,000 goal, which
We quickly surpassed.
we quickly surpassed, even by the morning power hour, and then we inched up to 20, and then it became evident that was too low, and then so we went to 30, and I thought that was going to actually be a stretch, but wow. We did it. We probably won't change that goal again, but please feel free to continue giving. I'd love to wake up in the morning and be surprised and at all the friends that may be still giving, and maybe on the Pacific coast now that might even, just dinner time there. Y'all got the whole evening ahead of you.
So next year, we're shooting for 100,000. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, we're grateful for the gifts this year.
Well, yeah, of course.
And we are just, wow, thank y'all. So what else?
That's
What we have
very
comments
humbling.
or things that we should
let's
tie up? I
see.
mean, I don't want to end it quick. If
Becky Elam says, you all have worked hard to make this happen. Thank you, Becky. Always a source of encouragement. I love having those people in my life.
I love reading Becky's comments.
Becky's, that's for sure.
So we don't always mention her, but she does comment on nearly every Hyman Cast video, and we love to. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Every time I'm a little down, I always sometimes get a note from Becky in my inbox, and it's just like, oh, okay. Keep on keeping on. Just gotta keep on.
All right. Well, we have reached our goal. We have realized our Greek word eschaton, and
Sorry. You have to take a minute and explain what just
what
happened.
came to my
before
head.
we can-
Eschaton means last, like you would say, like the last days.
Can you repeat the word, please?
Eschaton.
Can I get a definition?
Last. It means last. Like if you read the Bible and you say it's the last days, you're realizing you're eschaton.
Country of origin. It's a spelling bee, Corey.
Greek. Koine Greek. All right. So yeah. Any other loose ends we need to tie up, Josh?
No, well, just what you already said. Please check out AgriLatch on Thursday. If you're in the area, come check out the farmers market. Listen to the kiddos on next Tuesday. Please feel free to continue giving if you haven't yet. It's still not too late. Just because a goal is reached doesn't mean it can't be surpassed. But thank you all so much for that. We're looking forward to, I don't know if there's anything else coming up soon that you're probably going to start seeing lots of things from us about summer school and different things happening there. Jordan's going to probably be sending out, if you've loved what you've heard about the work that we do and you want to be a part of it, we will be hiring for schools later this summer. So if you're wanting to work in not Leslie, Perry, or Hazard Independent School Districts, we would love to have you on the team. Can live here on campus. We have a few, we offer some housing as far as that too. If you're out of the area and want to do a year of service with AmeriCorps, come join us.
That's not Leslie. It's not county. Leslie County.
Leslie County, Perry County, Hazard Independent. Yeah.
Just my mind went immediately to not NOT, not K.
Yeah, but again, thank you all so much for the whole day, and thank you to Jordan and Corey and Sarah Kate and all the guests, Scott and Lauren. Emily earlier, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
I think that's it.
That's it.
And what are 100 and almost 40 donors, right?
Exactly 140 according to this.
140 donors.
You guys made it happen. We just sat here and talked. So
thank you all so much.
This is probably the most I've ever talked in a single day in my entire life.
Well,
I'm gonna go home and probably collapse because that's what talking does to an introvert like me.
Yeah.
Just sucks the life out of you. You don't realize it until it's over, and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, straight to bed.
I'm gonna sit here and send some thank you notes for a few minutes, and then head home to Hazard.
All right, we thank you all so much for joining us today,
Thanks, y'all.
joining us tonight, and good night, everyone.
Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This has been a wild night party.
Oh gosh.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.